The Armed Forces of Nigeria is anchored on discipline, and law qualifies what will enable personnel to be disciplined. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabo, stated this at a public presentation of a book titled Fundamentals of Military Law and Practice, authored by retired Major Mike Kebonkwu in Abuja.
I also need to tell us, I need to point out to the audience, is that the Armed Forces of Nigeria, and of course for any military for that matter, is anchored on discipline. Discipline. Without discipline, no military force can ever exist to perform the functions for which they are established.
General Irabo, who is the chairman of the occasion, stressed that the book launch is essential because it helps the military to estray in some of the Armed Forces of Nigeria legal documents.
What constitutes our military justice administration takes into cognizance international human rights law as well as international humanitarian laws. And of course, there are also other legal provisions that we have incorporated to form what, of course, we have not only as the Armed Forces Act, but equally other, legal, extracts that helps us to be able to ensure that we have efficient military justice administration.
The book reviewer, while reviewing the 261 pages of the book, comprising of 7 chapters, including the Armed Forces Act, noted that the book is the latest entrance in military jurisprudence from the point of view of a hardcore professional of military law, an investigator, a tri-Anthony, and a thoroughbred practitioner of military law.
The book is one of the latest entrants in military jurisprudence. That is from the point of view of hardcore professionals. On loss of service property, the book highlights the importance placed on service property, especially firearms. This decision note that remains profound and is for lawyers in the military to try to see how such precedents are used to deepen military jurisprudence in the dispensation of military justice. One other area of interest is the area of command responsibility. The author preferred to introduce this very instructive. It's very instructive because commanders are known to have been punished because of acts and omissions of their subordinates, using command responsibility as an omnibus cover. It's very important for investigators and legal practitioners to be familiar with this aspect. One agrees with the view expressed in this book that there are different levels of command, and each level of command should take responsibility for his acts of commission or omission. Then we look at the application of rule of law and military justice generally. The author did not leave out this particular aspect.
The 261 pages of the book, comprising of 7 chapters, descended heavily on plea bargain as inimical to administration of military justice, especially as it affects regimental discipline. The author noted that the book is an insight into the basis of military law and regimentation and the best military tradition.
He brought it home to bear on the issue of the military community. I feel quite elated that, of course, the military becomes an institution that really made me, and I will not hesitate to encourage any of us that is in the military to really see that there is virtue in trial and hard work.
So for me, this book launch is quite essential because it helps us to x-ray some of our legal documents and how they add on to our activities within the armed forces. It also notes the fact that the armed forces is anchored on discipline, and so the actions or inactions of our personnel, is from the point of view that you can't have an effective military without discipline, and this law codifies what will enable us to be disciplined. And I'm glad that we are right on course in being a professional armed forces.
The book resolves the issue why summary trial should not lead to dismissal of soldiers, rating, and airmen, notwithstanding the position of the action, such procedural matter in contradistinction to the Constitution. The book launched today is of the view that summary trial should not lead to dismissal of soldiers, given the reason that because the soldier is not represented by counsel of his choice during the summary trial, is therefore offends the provision of Section 36 of Section 6C of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria 1999 as amended. Olaimi Eson for Spy TV News.